This is Spotlight Omaha. Spotlight Omaha is a local podcast that highlights local businesses and influential movers and shakers in the Omaha business community. Spotlight Omaha is brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Now, from the Pyramid Contractor Studios, the host of Spotlight Omaha, Jimmy Allen.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Spotlight Omaha podcast, where we take you around the city of Omaha, introduce you to local business owners, influential figures, and people who are making an impact on our community today. We are clearly not in the Pyramid Contractor Studio. We have some construction going on out of Going Vertical. So we are at the home of Pixel Fire Marketing today. We're joined by a brand new company here in Omaha. It's Captain Coffe, and we've got Todd and Shannon from Captain Coffe joining us. Thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Shannon, I want to start with you. We talked about this a little before we went on air. Yeah. It is a franchise. Why was it the right time to bring this franchise to the Papillion/Omaha area?
Yeah, so we were looking. My husband and I started looking for franchises.
Which is not Todd, by the way.
Which is not Todd. Yes.
Misconception.
We were working in healthcare, and we were kind of being dragged down a lot. You know, nobody wants to come in to the doctors in pain, and you know, all that fun stuff. And so we wanted someplace for someone to go where we could bring a smile to their face. They could bring a smile to
Most
ours.
people are happy after they get their coffee.
Exactly
Speaking of which,
right.
give me 1 second.
Yeah. There you go.
Grab your coffee.
So we were really looking for a franchise, and we picked Cabin because they're small. Their values really aligned with us and with the city of Papillion, we felt like, and so we just knew it was the right one for us.
The location's great. You guys are right there off Portal Road. Anybody that knows where Lux American Grill is, you guys are basically right around the corner from them. Why was that the right area of town to go to?
Yeah, so I got involved with the Taylors. I've known them forever, and we just got involved in this and looking for a franchise. And they had done a lot of the
That's very weird. You don't know most people in this town.
Yeah, they did a lot of their pre-work on finding the right franchise. It was, and then got involved with it that way. And then from there, it was, finding a location and things like that, and which was a challenge just because there's just so many different options across the city. And we looked at Papillion pretty heavily because that's where I'm at, and I know a lot of people there, and I have a lot of connections and things like that. And so it just happened to work out. And that Portal Road is a road that I think it's
booming.
It's booming. There's more and more things going up there. It seems like a fairly heavy traffic area.
I live right around the corner, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. So we ended up doing that, and I'm glad we did. I mean, I think it's going to be a great location, a great way to start out with Cabin. So
Shannon, for you, a lot of times we often talk about franchises and why it's the right option. Why was it the right option for you to be able to have kind of that backup to talk to people about what's working, what's not working, things like that?
Yeah, what truly sold me is when I met with the owners the very first time. They were telling me we roast our own coffee in the store, and they said one of the other franchises had their roaster go down. They drove 6 hours with their roaster to help this guy roast.
That's incredible.
And so I just knew, like, it wasn't just a huge franchise where maybe you're not going to get the support. I know I can pick up the phone and call the Cabin franchise team, and someone will answer my call, and they will get back to me immediately.
Todd said you did your research. What were some of the pros and cons of starting a franchise?
Yeah.
If those are the pros, what
yeah,
were the cons?
Yeah. So I drink a lot of coffee, but I didn't really know.
I'm glad you threw coffee at the end of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. And so, my husband and I were in a small business already, so small business is kind of what we were looking for anyway. But it was just really, it just felt right for us to have that support. Like I don't know enough about coffee to
Sure.
feel like I could.
Just because you can drink coffee doesn't mean you can make it.
Yeah.
Right. And plus all the food service, we don't know much about.
That was the $1 million question we got asked when you walked in here.
Yes.
What are some of the options other than coffee?
Yeah, so we're gonna do we have smoothies, Red Bulls, hot chocolates, of course. All kind of your traditional drinks that you can get. But we also will have some specialty pastries. We'll have some breakfast wraps and some lunch wraps. But a lot of the stuff we bake there in the store. So
Very cool.
So we'll do a lot of baking every morning. And yeah, we'll have a lot of options.
Yeah, I was going to add to the franchise thing because I feel like it's sort of an in-between of going with like a large franchise and having your own business that you do everything, which neither one of us were in a position to do that just because there's so many unknowns when you get into it. But on the other hand, them being as small as they are and just, I don't know, the customer service fact from the owners has just been amazing so far, just what I've seen. From the training to the, I mean, we're going to be opening up here really soon. And just to see the things that they've done has just been incredible.
They were here putting all the equipment in, making sure everything was in the right spot, making sure all the outlets were in the right spot. So, I mean, that, again, construction-wise,
Have you had a chance to visit one of the other locations?
Yeah, so actually I trained in Iowa at the
Okay.
stores for about 8 weeks.
As far as the visual and where everything's set up, pretty uniform?
Yeah, so actually we're only their second drive-through only store. Most of the other stores have dining rooms. The other stores that I trained at did have dining rooms. So a little bit different that way, but yeah, fairly similar inside behind the bar, like behind the counter.
Todd, I'm going to ask you a question because apparently we're having issues with Shannon's microphone. I'm going to try to fix this on the fly. Sorry to everybody that's watching. We've still got 480 people watching. But talk to me about the look. When you come over the hill, you see it. It's obviously a beautiful. It stands alone by itself, and it's a beautiful. It looks like a log cabin.
Yep.
Was that part of that aesthetic part of the reason why you guys wanted to go with cabin?
Yeah, I mean, I think that has something to do with it. I do think the look just stands out right away. And you think of coffee, you think of a cabin. You're sitting around the fire, I guess, or whatever, having a coffee or hot chocolate. So there was definitely that was part of it as well. And I think that Shannon and Brett had done a lot of research, which was nice because they had looked at other things and we do think coffee is something that's going to hang around for a while, coffee shops and things like that. But I thought that there was some uniqueness to it, from the cabin look and just, different things that go with it. And then some of the things that they do, like you roast your own, some of the bakery stuff. It's not just, throw it in a microwave.
Which is kind of the problem right now in coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Shannon, one more time. Just give me a check. That microphone's not coming through for some reason. I'm not sure. It was working before we moved it. Would you guys want to just pass back and forth when you're talking? Yeah. Is that okay? I don't know.
No
we'll see if that'll work. This might. Shannon, really quickly. So when we go back to the discussion about why the franchise model works for you guys, it's a lot of the conversations we're having on this podcast, and it's the back filter part of it. When we talk about growth inside of a franchise, what does that look for? I mean, obviously you guys aren't open yet, so
right.
thinking 5 years down the road is probably a little difficult. What does growth look like inside of a franchise model for you, or is that even something you guys are considering?
For Todd, my husband and I.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to bring more locations to the Omaha area. We feel like that this model, especially the drive-through, is can be really successful here in town. So hopefully we'll get some more locations going. But we're really excited about this one. We think it's a perfect location. So if we find the right spot, we'll maybe add some more. And Cabin Coffee Company in general is not looking to grow exponentially in the next few years. So they're going to find the right owners. We had an interview process when we started, and that's how they do it. They don't let just anyone who can write a check open a cabin coffee company.
What were some of the parameters they gave you guys? Was it like, I mean, you don't got to get into dollars and cents or anything like that, but like what were some of the measuring stick marks to kind of open up cabin?
Like for us owners,
Yep.
Gosh, I don't even remember. So we've been talking to Cabin Coffee Company for like 2 years, so it's been a while. Gosh, I don't.
I think it was finding it was weird. It's kind of like an interview process on both sides, making sure we were a fit for them and they were a fit for us.
Right.
Some of it's personalities, different things like that. Obviously, there's minimums that they have, in terms of just the financial piece that you have to have. And, doing some of that work with that. But after that, it's really just, with their team and then with Brett and Shannon and I is making sure that we're a fit, with their kind of their culture, if that makes sense,
Because that's a big part of it, right? I mean, to your point, you can't just let everybody who has X amount of dollars in the bank open up, because you got to be able to extend your brand and make sure that they're representing it correctly. Shannon, for you, Todd, if you want to go and pass it back. If we talk about putting your fingerprints on it, because obviously you're taking somebody else's brand, but making it your own. What do you want to do as far as putting your fingerprints on the Cabin brand?
I told all my employees when I hired them, customer service is such a big deal to me.
Because it's a dying brand.
Oh my gosh. It is such a big deal to me. And so that is going to be our number one. And also, obviously, we're going to have a lot of younger kids working for us, high schoolers. I want to give them
Todd
the
might know a
skills.
few.
Todd, I do maybe have a few of his his players on our staff, but just like he is trying to get them ready for the future, same thing here.
Sure.
I mean, maybe they're not going to be baristas all their life, but they could, they could also take all of these skills onto their next career too. So again, really important for me, customer service wise there too.
Todd, for you, for anybody that doesn't know, Todd is the head coach. He's won a few games at Papillion-La Vista as the head coach of the softball program for the Papillion-La Vista Monarchs. But when you talk about your wife owns a business in Papillion, you're now opening a business in Papillion. You coach in Papillion. Why is doing business, helping build the youth, and forming the next generation such a big deal for you in the city of Papillion specifically?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've lived in Papillion most of my adult life, and and I grew up in a small town, and I always came to Papillion going, this is the small town, which it's not small anymore. But just the fact that it is a community, and it's a small enough community where everybody knows each other. People work together, they help each other, and for me it was important to have it there locally, just to help like these kids, the girls that I coach and things like that. I think it's an amazing experience for them to go, a lot of them work and do things. And so for us to give those opportunities for them, help build a community, work together, like my wife's business, which is literally just down the street from there. It just keeps the connection there and just helping to, helping the community. And I also think that the city itself and Sarpy County, with Sarpy County tourism, the city of Papillion,
shout out to Freddie and those guys.
Yeah. I mean, they've been extremely supportive of us, and I think they understand how important the locally owned businesses are, and how it's still kind of got that small town feel to it,
Absolutely.
And when and Cabin Coffee, if you
that
go
was the reason we picked our house in Papillion.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just because it was like, okay, you get past Harrison, and it doesn't feel like Bellevue, and it kind of feels like its own standalone thing.
Yeah, I agree. And if you look at the other Cabin Coffee locations, they all are kind of in the smaller type, yeah, exactly. And so that seemed to be a fit for us, and that'll have something to do with when we expand. Like where and things like that, because there's a lot of finding the right location that fits with like what you do is very important, and of course the cost of the land. But I mean, there's a lot of those things that go into that.
Well, I want to talk about that too. We're catching up with Todd and Shannon of Cabin Coffee Company here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. When we talk about the growth of Omaha, and listen, Gretna's exploding. Elkhorn is seeing a revamp. They're putting a ton of money into North Omaha right now. South Omaha is kind of coming along as well too. Is the growth of the city kind of why it's the right time to do this as well?
Yeah, I think that has something to do with it. I mean, for sure, because it's crazy the growth that's going on, like Gretna and some of those areas, and even in Papillion, where they're trying to kind of like what do you call it? Incorporate the whole city.
Sure.
Like Mayor Black talks about how he wants to connect Warner Park into downtown,
right?
And how that's going to all happen. And then as you go out towards Gretna, and Mike Evans, the mayor of Gretna, who I know, and some of the plans that they have, I think it's a great opportunity, for us or for people trying to, get into this type of business or, franchise, or whether it's franchise or just owned.
Sure.
I just think that there's going to be more and more people moving into the city. The sprawl's going to continue kind of that way, as well as to the north. But I also think, some of the things that's going on in South and North Omaha, and even as you go across the river, things that are going on in Council Bluffs. I mean, I just think the timing's right. I think
fastest growing city in the country, according to Forbes. Shannon, question for you: when we talk about the market, the other way, there you go. Just pull it up to your mouth. You should be fine right there. When we talk about the market, there's obviously the two big ones, right? There's Scooters and there's Starbucks. And is there even a worry about competing with them, or is it so new that you have to focus on what's going on in-house before you worry about what's going on outside?
I'm not super concerned. We do some things that are going to be different. We do fresh roast our own beans right there in the store. So we are roasting beans every single day. This cup of coffee that Todd is drinking was roasted.
Hold on one second. This is the beauty of live radio, folks. We got to cut. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Okay, now it's coming through.
Okay.
It's that question. Sorry.
Yeah. So we're doing things maybe a little bit different than some of those other stores. We fresh roast our own beans, small batch roasting, 2 pounds at a time. Our own beans. So this cup of coffee that Todd's drinking was roasted probably 2 days ago. We will never sell any coffee that's more than 2 weeks old.
I was going to ask what the market was. Okay.
Yep. So after 2 weeks, we take it off the shelf. And we actually, after 10 days, we're not going to sell it to our customers anymore. We're going to brew it that next day, and then it's off the shelf. So we'll keep roasting our beans every single day.
I have to ask. I am a coffee connoisseur, and this is amazing. What is
that
this?
One is a little bit different too. So again, another thing that we offer exclusively, as my understanding, is it's white coffee. So that one we don't roast in our store. It's roasted in Clear Lake, Iowa.
Clear Lake, you're doing something right.
Yeah, Clear Lake's a great town if you ever get a chance to get there.
Fantastic.
It is awesome. But so
it's just called white coffee.
So that one's white coffee. So it's obviously doesn't taste like any kind of coffee.
I don't know what it tastes. It tastes like deliciousness in a glass.
Yeah. So usually we kind of describe it like a nutty flavor. You're drinking our tumbleweed, which is like our salted caramel.
Yep. There you go. That's what it is.
So it's just white coffee, caramel, and then some milk and some wonderful whipped cream that we again make that.
I'm not saying this because you guys are sitting here. This is perfect. Like this is like if I had to describe exactly what I want out of coffee, it would be this. As far as listen, everything is moving to an online version. Yep. Are you guys planning on selling grounds online, things like that? Is there distribution options?
Yeah, so you can buy our coffee.
Can I buy
right
this
in the
500-pound bag?
So the white coffee you cannot.
Okay.
But that one you have to come see me all the time. But all the other coffee, yes, you can buy in the store. And we have an app too. You can order your beans or your little cabin cups for your machine at home. You can buy those right through our store or the app.
Do we know what number of location?
We are store number 26.
Okay, I didn't know how else to rephrase
exactly.
that.
I
gotcha. So, and the closest one would be Iowa, then, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. There is one in Missouri, like half the way to Kansas City. You kind of have to get off the highway a little bit to get there, but yeah.
Is there anything that you guys don't offer right now that you personally would like to see added to the repertoire eventually, or have you thrown some ideas out to the franchise?
We're not doing protein in our smoothies. I really want to get that going, but
because is there a reason it just isn't available through Cabin right now?
No, it's just like franchise-wise, it hasn't been a big seller, but I think our market would really like that.
Agreed.
So I think that'll be a request I'll make here pretty quickly. And then, really not so much. I think we are one of the first stores to bring on some new pastry items for the franchise, and they are awesome. Salted caramel Danish we'll be offering here when we start opening here very, very soon. It's really, really good.
I don't know if you noticed, I'm a big fan of salted caramel.
Okay, perfect. I'll bring you one next time. Yeah. So, so we've got some really great new pastry items that are going to be really awesome. And I think they're not just warmed up in a microwave.
We're getting a couple comments coming in.
Okay,
People are thanking us for fixing the audio, so it is coming across better. Gift cards. Are gift cards available? People are saying we didn't even know this place is. People on my street are commenting, didn't know that you guys were opening up. And I live right around the corner. Are gift cards available?
Gift cards are available. You can buy them straight through the Cabin Coffee Company website, and it's just cabincoffeecompany.com, or we will, once we open, you can get it through the app too. Right now you can't, our store is not popping up on the app until we get open.
That was my next question.
Yes, yeah. But you can peruse the menu for the other locations. We won't offer all of the same items that those other stores offer, especially with the food. But all the drinks will be the same.
Tara, I believe it's pronounced, in Papillion wants to know when is the opening date and when can we assume?
No official opening date. We're training our team this week, and then we're hoping mid-January. We just want to make sure the training's going okay. Everybody's on board and ready to go.
Sarah wants to know, how many decaf options do you have available? A lot of the local places only offer one.
So yeah, we'll have decaf coffee every day. We can do a decaf flavored coffee, and we will have decaf espresso as well.
11 people would like to know, are pup cups going to be an option for our furry
cups are
friends?
an option. I just got our cups in today.
Okay.
So yes, they are an option.
Are you surprised with how popular that? Because listen, I bring my dogs through coffee drive-thrus all the time. Are you surprised with how popular of an option that's become?
So when I was training in Iowa, I guess I maybe didn't even anticipate seeing all the puppies through the drive-thru. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. And honestly, all the baristas love to see the dogs in the drive-thru too. We all kind of huddle around the window.
Dogs make the world go round. We have one right here in the Pixel Fire office as well. And this is the Spotlight Omaha podcast brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. Catching up with Todd and Shannon of Cabin Coffee Co. here on the podcast. I want to talk about you guys. Shannon, you're married. You got a lot going on. You just left the corporate world. You're starting this business. How do you open a business, hire, be a wife, do day-to-day life, and manage it all at the same time?
Yeah. Thankfully, my husband has been great. My
and your
kids have
husband's
been
name is
great.
again? Sorry.
Brett.
Brett. Shout out to Brett. I want to make sure we give Brett some love.
Exactly.
He's the third member of the team that's not here today.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So we, because I was gone pretty much October and November training in Iowa. And so, I left my kids chore, how to do the laundry, doing the dishes.
Welcome to survival mode.
Exactly. So I think actually that really helped. But, Brett's been great. Kind of taken over a little more than maybe he usually does or had before, and obviously my kids are too. So it's been good.
Sure. Todd, same question for you. I mean, obviously you're a coach, you're a husband, you're a father, you're an entrepreneur yourself before this. So you helped your wife run her business as much as she allows you to. Hopefully it's not too much. Nobody wants to see you out there doing eyebrows. How do you manage that and kind of balance the whole thing?
I think it's, like for me, I look at it just from a perspective of diversifying the things that I do, get involved in a lot of different things. I have my own, whatever you call it, regular job, day-to-day job, and then coaching softball and being involved in
what
softball.
What do you do? I'm in
IT sales, IT cybersecurity sales.
I didn't know that.
So I work for a small company called Heartland Business Systems, and so
we'll allow that free
which is
plug.
great. Yeah, they get the free advertisement there, and which is a great place. Gives me flexibility to work out of my house, work in an office. Coaching softball really is my passion, but for me, like with this, is just an extension of the other things that I do. And so from a family perspective, it works out great because my kids are all growing, and, grandkids coming or have some of those. And it just, I just saw it as not only just an investment, but also just another thing to do in the community. And, Shannon talked about this, that's one of the things that, what I'll be doing is reaching out to community, small businesses, different things like that. So they kind of know about us and what we do and drive some more business, but also just kind of build more of that community around where we're located.
You and I have obviously talked about this a couple times, but I organically have had people text me, "Hey, do you know what the deal is with the log cabin over off Fort?" Like legitimately, organically. So it's grabbing the attention that you guys are trying to. When we talk about opening up, what are some of the hurdles that you guys have faced with opening up, and what do you guys expect to be kind of like some things that fires you put out before the doors even open?
That'll be a Shannon question because she's done it all. I haven't had any hurdles so far. They've all been Shannon's hurdles that she's
the pretty face of the company, right? That's all you do. Shannon, when we talk about getting the door actually open, you mentioned we're not going to be able to give the date yet, probably because some of those hurdles are still in the way. What do those hurdles look like?
To be honest, again, the Cabin Coffee franchise team has been awesome. Again, construction-wise, I wouldn't have known much, but they have handled so much of that for me. Dean Snyder Construction did everything, and they were pretty close.
Great company.
Yeah, they were pretty close to being right on time for where we were. But
that's the third time they've come up in a month, by the way.
Oh, really?
Dean Snyder, you guys are doing something right.
Yeah, and the crew that we had there was really awesome. But that was probably maybe the majority of it was maybe just, the construction things. Hiring was really pretty great. I think we've got a really good team. I'm really super excited. Again, Todd did help with that.
I have to ask about that though, because I believe this is episode 340. Don't quote me on that, but we're somewhere close to that. And the one thing that I usually get the cringe, the loud gasp, the sigh is when we ask about hiring, because it's taking your vision, your passion, something you spent months away from your kids doing to learn, to perfect, and handing it off to somebody. And oftentimes in a business like this, you are handing it off to a 15, 16, 18-year-old that, for lack of a better term, probably doesn't care a whole lot about the success it is.
Yeah.
Is that difficult for you?
Yeah. However, my mom is coming to work for me.
Very cool. What's your mom's name?
Glenda.
Shout out to Glenda.
Yes,
Sorry.
exactly. And so, I think between Todd and I and Brett, we know enough people that we can put our trust into. We've got a couple other people that I've known for a really long time. And so Todd's daughter is going to come work for us too. And so one of Todd's daughters, I should say. I just think, again, finding the right person to do that. We've been really lucky. I am super excited about this team and just seeing them in the store this week. We did some classroom training kind of earlier. And so now seeing them in the store this week has been super, super fun.
Can we ballpark an opening time frame, like a month? Yeah,
I hope I'm going to say mid-January.
Okay,
yeah.
So we're very close. We're very close.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the benefits of the city of Papillion. There's obviously a lot of them. Hold on one second. Don't hit it yet. I was sorry. I was going to tell you. We're hitting the point where we kind of wrap it up. Is there anything that the city hasn't provided that maybe you guys could have used help with?
The only thing I can think of is a sidewalk.
Okay, perfect. That's kind of where I was leaning towards.
We did have to pay for a their bike path, which
Sure.
was a little bit different, and it doesn't quite continue all the way down. But honestly, the city's been really great.
Fantastic.
The application process, all the permitting process, super easy. They were really great to work with.
We're hitting that point of the day where we tend to shut her down. Is there anything we haven't mentioned about Cab and Coffe Co. that people should know about?
No, we're just really excited to be here, I think, and it's going to be great for the community, I hope.
Website one more time.
cabincoffeecompany.com. Our location should be saying coming soon on there, and
Sure.
then the app will be coming very soon. Again, just Cab and Coffee on the app. So we'll get that going.
Make sure you stop by. It's a big red log cabin over off Portal Road. You can't miss it. If you do, you're not paying attention. This has been the Spotlight Omaha podcast brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. We'll be back tomorrow, back here in the Pixel Fire Studios at 11. Hopefully you can join us then. We had a whole lineup. I appreciate everybody that reached out to us on social media to get booked out because we got a whole lineup for the next 2 weeks. Tomorrow we're talking to Chad Speaks about health insurance for people of the older demographic, how he's benefiting the community, and a whole lot more here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. We'll see you tomorrow at 11.